I feel like the hype is around amongst him because he's a Japanese person doing these things.
Picture an undefeated, unified world champion looking at the camera with absolute confidence, saying, "I see me wiping him out clean. He's too small for me. He's too short." And then getting knocked unconscious so brutally that he had to fire his entire training team afterward. This is the story of when a trash talker mocked Inoue's size and got destroyed. The night Stephen Coolboy Fulton learned that in boxing, heart and skill aren't measured in inches. July 25th, 2023. The Arachaki Stadium in Tokyo, Japan. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation as the monster, Naoya Inoue, prepared to move up in weight to challenge for the Super Bantamweight Championship. Standing across from him was Stephen Fulton Jr., the undefeated unified WBC and WBO champion who had been running his mouth for months. "He's too small for me. He's too short," Fulton declared with unwavering confidence. "I feel like the hype is around him because he's a Japanese person doing these things. That's all. I feel like that's the hype is around him because of that." But Fulton wasn't just trash talking. He was making serious accusations. "Because I refuse to let my fighter get in the ring with someone that has loaded gloves," he claimed, even suggesting he had proof on his phone that Inoue was somehow cheating. Now let's be clear. Fulton was as elite as it got within his division. This wasn't some manufactured champion. When he captured his first major title in a war with Angelo Leo, the boxing world knew they were watching someone special. He then went on to defend that WBO title and unify it by stealing Brandon Figueroa's WBC belt in a gritty affair that showcased Fulton's legitimate world-class levels. All in all, he was the man at 122 pounds. The problem was, he never expected the beast that is Naoya Inoue. From the opening bell, both fighters felt each other out. But Inoue was noticeably more active and controlled the majority of the first round. His jab, that weapon Fulton had completely dismissed, was already landing with precision and power. The versatile offensive attack that Inoue is known for was on full display. He went upstairs, downstairs, following Fulton back to the ropes before separations. Fulton thought he was slick, thought he could get on his bike and box from distance, but Inoue chased him down and cut him off at every turn. By the second round, Inoue came out with sharper timing and unleashed a four-punch combination that clearly troubled Fulton. The champion's confidence was already starting to crack. There it is again, and there's the first right hand that is able to land. And then a four-punch combination that included a left to the body from Inoue. And there it was. Fulton was already on his bike, just trying to avoid shots. The trash-talking champion who said Inoue was too small was running, retreating, looking for any way to escape the pressure of this 5'5" assassin. By round 3, Fulton tried to get in close, but Inoue proved too quick. His precision strikes opened up Fulton's nose, blood streaming down as reality set in. "He wants to show that he's tough," the commentator said. "You got to show you're tough while still being intelligent." Round 4 saw Fulton land what would be his best exchange of the entire fight. But even then, he was knocked off balance by Inoue's counters. The champion was trying to show confidence, trying to convince himself he belonged in there, but his body language told a different story. He's getting outboxed. He's supposed to be the superior boxer, the shocked commentators noted. "We get so enamored with the power of Inoue and the results, but he is a supremely intelligent boxer as well." By round 5, the blood was flowing more freely from Fulton's nose. His best weapon, his movement, his footwork, had been completely neutralized. Fulton is not using any of his footwork. He's not using any of his lateral movement at all. And you want to know why? Because Inoue has stopped that. Inoue is quick to cut him off and says, I want you directly in front of me. I don't want you moving anywhere." The sold-out arena in Tokyo was so respectful, so polite, so restrained that you could actually hear the corner instructions in the midst of the fight. It was an eerie, almost ceremonial atmosphere as they watched their hero systematically dismantle the trash-talking American. So unbelievable how Inoue, no matter what position he's in, he's able to generate the punching power and torque on his shots. The broadcast team marveled. Torque is a perfect description of what makes his punching power special. Round 6 saw Inoue really ramp up the dominance. He broke down Fulton's timing completely. Fulton is not using any of his footwork, and you want to know why? Because Inoue has stopped that. The man who was supposed to be too small was controlling every aspect of the fight. The distance, the pace, the angles. Fulton was being made to look ordinary by someone he dismissed as overhyped. By round 7, Fulton landed a solid right hook that tested Inoue, but it did nothing to stop the monster's pace. Inoue's jab, that weapon Fulton had completely ignored in his pre-fight analysis, was controlling everything. That's the one thing about Inoue they observed. He never stops hunting for that knockout. He's always looking for it. And Fulton, he was allowing Inoue to recharge between exchanges, giving the smaller man moments to catch his breath and reload. It was a masterclass in championship-level incompetence from someone who thought he was too smart, too skilled, too big to lose. The punch landed flush, and Fulton's entire body language changed instantly. He wasn't just hurt, he was broken. Inoue chased him down like a predator sensing blood, and Fulton was laid out, struggling to get to his feet. Fulton tried to grab the ropes, backed up into the corner with nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from the nightmare he'd created with his own trash talk. Here came Inoue, unleashing that destructive, decisive power that had destroyed everyone before him. The barrage was brutal, unrelenting, devastating. Punch after punch after punch until the referee had no choice but to step in and save Fulton from further punishment. The fight was over. But here's what makes this story even more significant than just another knockout. Naoya Inoue didn't just beat Stephen Fulton. He exposed the fundamental flaw in how people evaluate fighters. Size doesn't matter when you're facing someone with otherworldly timing, devastating power, and the ring IQ of a seasoned veteran. Fulton made every mistake a fighter can make. He underestimated his opponent. He talked trash about things that didn't matter. He fought emotionally instead of intelligently, and he paid the ultimate price. His titles, his undefeated record, and his reputation all destroyed in one night. The boxing world learned a valuable lesson that night in Tokyo. Never, ever mock Naoya Inoue's size, because that 5'5" monster will make you pay in the most brutal way possible. But here's the question that keeps boxing fans up at night. If Inoue can do this at super bantamweight, what happens when he moves up even higher in weight? What happens when he faces bigger, stronger champions who think they can use their size advantage against him? Because if Stephen Fulton taught us anything, it's that doubting Naoya Inoue based on physical measurements is the fastest way to end up on the canvas, staring at the lights, wondering what truck just hit you. And somewhere out there, another champion is watching, thinking they're too big, too strong, too skilled for the monster. They're making the same mistake Fulton made. And when that fight finally happens, we all know how it ends.